It seems like it's been 40 weeks since you got 40 winks. Your back pain? Unbearable. Tossing, turning, trying to find that pain-free position. And that's the moment you realize you can't spend another waking moment putting off treatment.
The Joint and Spine Center is Cincinnati's leading destination for spine care with a ton of surgical and non-surgical treatments for back pain. So when a moment has the power to change the rest of your life, go to the one place with the power to change it for the better, the Christ Hospital Health Network. This changes everything.
The Pound This Podcast is brought to you by the Christ Hospital Health Network. This is the Pound This Podcast, episode 669, Shay's Weight Loss Journey, Weekly Updates.
I want to lose weight, but I don't know how to get started.
What should I meal prep every week?
How do I get those sweet booty gains?
Inspiration for your healthy lifestyle. The Pound This Podcast with Amanda Valentine.
Thank you so much for listening to the Pound This Podcast. I'm Amanda Valentine. Shay's back.
Hey, girl.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, coming straight from Shalates today.
Sure am. My legs are still shaking.
You said that you were using like a big ball today, like a big Swiss ball? Like a stability ball?
Holding it between my legs.
I haven't had to do that there yet.
My inner thighs were literally on fire. Like, I'm pretty sure I can, after doing that, like break a watermelon in between my thighs.
Ooh, let's find out.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll just drag my baby pool out.
Yes, I'm down.
I'm sure your boyfriend would be happy with that knowledge.
Yeah, he'd probably think that was hot. Like, oh, damn, my girl, she split open a watermelon with them thighs.
What can she do to my pelvic bone?
Oh, shoot.
How are things going with your boyfriend, by the way?
Good.
Yay.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's all positive. So.
Yeah. Do you think he would ever do Pilates with you?
Oh my God. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sure he'd probably do just about anything that I was like, do this with me. But, yeah.
Nice. You're just like, yeah, he does what I want.
Oh my God. I just probably would never ask him to. So it's kind of fun to just like do that shit on my own.
Yeah. It's going to be your own thing and doesn't have to be like a couple thing.
Right.
You guys aren't going to get a joint Facebook page anytime
I don't want to
soon?
be one of those girls that's like, my boyfriend does everything with me. Like comes to my hair appointments.
Oh no. Did people do that?
Dude, yes.
What?
Thank God, because of COVID, you're not allowed to have somebody like come with you. But people literally bring their boyfriends and they sit there for like 3 hours while the girls get color.
Oh no.
Yeah,
if somebody asked me to do that for them, that would be a hard no for me.
Right. Like I have way better things I could do with my afternoon.
Oh, I can't imagine. Well, I think that if I asked Mike to do that, if I was like, hey, I need you to do this, I think he would. And I mean, I guess if he asked me to do that, I mean, we technically would, but we'd both be like, kind of piss at each other. Like, why are you making me do this?
I just don't really understand that. But yeah, I'm not going to be one of those girls that like, now you can only hang out with me and my boyfriend. Like, yeah, we're a pair now.
I mean, I understand that. I don't know. That's just very different from who I am. I'm very much, I mean, I go on vacations by myself where I'm like, get out of here.
Well, and I really love the fact that like we can't see each other that often. So like I can still do my own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's not, you're not.
It just feels a little healthier. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that when me and Mike were dating, we were we worked together.
Right.
And I lived right behind the radio station when we first met. So he would just like come over when he got off the air and we'd hang out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we did a lot of stuff together, but it's not like I couldn't go do anything without him.
Right.
Which is so interesting because now, I mean, not recently, because I just think that people just leave me alone about it now.
Yeah.
But like how many people like seemed offended that I would go on vacations without him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going on vacation next week and he's going without me.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like we would typically do, in a non-COVID world, take a vacation together.
Yeah.
And then do a vacation separately because we like to do different things. And I'm not going to force him to go outside and hike and do the crap I like when that's not a vacation for him.
Right.
And I don't want to sit in the basement and play video games for a week for my vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we understand that about each other, but so many people like just for some reason the first thought is like you must have a trash relationship. Like things must be bad because you're not doing everything together. I'm like, I think for me personally, like it's a sign that things are good. Like, and we can be our own people and we're still like cool with it.
Yeah. And like respect that about each other. Yeah.
Like I don't mind if he goes to California and hangs with his friends and gets drunk and does his own thing. Like I trust him and like, just like he trusts me to
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone camping with old co-hosts before, like, and just like dudes. And I'm like, we used to do morning shows together. And I have been more attached to people I've done radio shows with than him, just in a way of, it's like, it's so weird. It's just such a weird life of like, when you're doing a show like that, or a show that actually cares, you are like, that is essentially a marriage.
Yeah.
Whether it's one person or multiple people, like, you are together to the point so much of like doing events, doing your show, planning the show. I mean, more time than you're with a spouse.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. That's why whenever things go bad, it's bad.
It's real bad.
Yeah, because it's like living in a really toxic marriage.
Ugh.
Sucks.
That sounds awful.
I know. Yeah, I've lived that before.
I do not envy that.
Yeah. On a different note, how's health, fitness, weight loss, all that stuff been going?
It's okay. I feel, I don't know. I feel like I'm at this weird point, like, where I want to like start losing weight again. Like, COVID was such a halt for me. But like, I feel like I've like have to like figure that out again, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. 'Cause I've just been kind of like sitting in the same spot for so long that I feel like I have to like kind of get back on like some sort of routine. So, yeah.
Do you feel a pretty strong desire to do that? Do you think that you'll end up doing that, or still just kind of like, when the mood strikes?
I feel like I want to. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm like in a really weird place with like what my body looks like right now. So I think that that's pushing some of it. But yeah, I just feel like I want to like, I don't really know how to describe it. Just be like a little bit more routine about what I'm eating. Just to be a little bit more like stable. So
yeah, I understand that. Yeah, that's where it's like, but the thing is, it's like you're not quote unquote off the wagon,
right?
Off the rails. Like, you're in such a like healthy place to be like, hey, if I want to turn the heat up on this, I can. If not, then I'm cool right here. Like, that's a pretty awesome place to be.
Yeah,
because I know, I mean, just people. I don't know. I wouldn't define what you're in as in a plateau. Would you define that?
Because I was like kind of choosing to be here.
Yeah.
So it's not like I've been trying to lose weight and it's not happening. Because that's kind of more what I consider a plateau.
Yeah.
Like, I've just been kind of like coasting. Yeah.
But I would say that in your scenario and a plateau, the solution is you got to change things up. Like, something's got to change.
Right.
And, whatever that is. And that's, I mean, I know I personally get asked a ton of questions about like getting through a plateau because they're so frustrating and they're awful. But it's just changing things up and patience. And like, one of the things that I don't know, I took some notes on, I don't have them in front of me, of just thinking of like the moment, like, especially for me, to use the analogy, and I think this is an analogy for life too, is like, so for me, getting in the 100s was like a huge deal. Like, I haven't seen a 1 in front of my weight since like, I don't know, grade school.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when I was at like, like 203 or whatever, right, 200, I'm like, oh my God, all I want to do is see 199.
Right.
And it's like, you just hover there for freaking ever. And it would be kind of dip down and come back up. And you're like, oh my God, and you're just like dying for it to happen. And so then when it finally happens, it is just like, oh my God, yes. But I really think the lesson in there and the win is that period of time where it's awful.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you held strong. You're like, I know I'm going to do this. You didn't give up. You're switching stuff around. You're fidgeting with it. You're trying, like, that's the lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's the like learning the lessons and figuring it out of how it works for you and your body.
Right.
That, the time that you hate so much is actually the most beneficial time in your journey.
Right.
So I think it's so hard to see that though.
Right.
Like, even in my current moment with things in my life where it just feels like, this is so frustrating. Can I get on the other side of this? And I'm like, but when I look back, this will be part of the journey that is the most, I don't know. Monumental seems like a big word, but beneficial. I don't know.
Well, because it's easy to just give up when you're not seeing like the numbers change like you want to. Like, that's the easiest thing to do. So it's like, if you stay strong and like, even though you're not seeing the scale change, like, keep doing what you're doing, then that really, it does show strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have anything planned looking, as we're things are becoming more summer-like? I know you've been skydiving before because you couldn't do that before. Do you have anything like on deck and that sort of?
I want to go ride a roller coaster at some point. I might not do that till the fall because I'd rather be shot than go to Kings Island when it's like 90 degrees. But I did see they're not enforcing masks this summer. So, because I definitely was not about to go to Kings Island in 90 degrees with a mask. But I'll probably wait till the fall unless I like go up to Cedar Point. But I don't.
Have you ever been to Cedar Point?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
Yeah. So yeah, that's on my list this year. But other than that, I don't have anything too crazy. I have a lot of like trips planned. I already have requested off all my PTO for the year, which I never do. But that was one of my goals for this year, was to use all my PTO instead of just taking the money. Just because I need things to look forward to, because I didn't have that last year.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm doing this year. I'm going whitewater rafting next month with the Explore Chick trip, which is West Virginia Wild, which anybody listening to this, you're welcome to come along. Go to explorerchick.com. And I'm also trying stand-up paddleboarding for the first time. I'm signing up for that one, because it's kind of like choose your own adventure on the Friday that you're there, and that's what I'm choosing to do. But it's whitewater rafting on Saturday that everybody's doing. Yeah. And I've been whitewater rafting once, is when I lived in Colorado, and it's before I started losing weight. Yeah. And it was freaking terrible. Yeah. One of the reasons was just because I went with my in-laws, and none of us had been on whitewater rafting before, and whitewater rafting in Colorado is a little serious. And my father-in-law signed us up for intermediate instead of beginner. Oh God. And it was just real bad. But also, I was a size at that time that the life jacket didn't fit me right. Yeah. It kept when I sat down, which you're sitting down on a raft, even when we sat down on the school bus that took you to where you're going to go, it kept smashing my face. It just kept sliding up, and it didn't fit me right because I was too big for it. And I even said them to him, this isn't right. Help me get this on. And they just blew me off. So then once I'm on the boat, I'm trying to whitewater raft and constantly push my life jacket down because it was going up into my face because it didn't fit me. And I don't know. I was just so not in any sort of shape. Yeah. To because my father-in-law and my brother-in-law fell out and smashed into rocks. What? They got all, it was awful. They loved it. And and normally I love adventures, you know what I mean? Yeah. I thought that I would come on the other side of this and be like, woo, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it again. I was the only one where I'm no. Yeah. No, thank you. So I'm excited to try it again, to be first off, again, not that situation. But also because I do feel better in my own body. I'll have a life jacket that fits me correctly. And I have just the knowledge of if something happens, if this boat tips, I'm strong enough to try to swim to something or do whatever I need to do, where before, no, not at all. So I don't know. I just think those markers are so awesome. You're talking about riding a roller coaster or going skydiving, of knowing the difference of I couldn't do this before or I did this before and it was so bad because of my own self-image or the the level of athletics I guess I could do with my body. Yeah. And to do it again and be I'm hoping the experience is just hell yeah, this was awesome this time.
Yeah, and you'll probably be more comfortable. Yeah. Because you won't have to worry about whether the life jacket fits you or not. Yeah. Things that you had to have anxiety about before that you don't really have to anymore.
Yeah. Or if I fall out of the boat, can I even lift myself up to get back in? Or can anybody else not lift me up? How, again, then think about the embarrassment and the shame of that, of I'm so big, you can't get me back in the boat. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, in September, I'm flying to North Carolina to stay with my nieces. And I used to have a ton of anxiety about flying because I was always worried I was going to have to ask for a seatbelt extender. Yeah. One of the last times I flew when I was overweight, I literally researched how big an average seatbelt was and was measuring myself because I knew that if I had to ask for a seatbelt extender, I was going to go to a really dark place. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's different on different airlines, how big their seatbelt is.
Right. But it's I was so worried about what I was going to want to do to myself if I didn't fit on you know, on the plane. And like now I don't even have to think twice about it. Like I still in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to fit on this airplane? And it's like not even it doesn't even matter anymore. Like I fit just fine. My seatbelt, I have plenty of extra seatbelt. So like even that, like I get to be excited about going and staying with my nieces, and I don't have to stress about whether or not I'm going to have to like embarrass myself in front of everyone and ask for a seatbelt extender.
Yeah. I mean, I was right at the point where the seatbelt barely fit. And I was just like, that was also a thing too of like, I'm a few decisions away from needing a seatbelt. And the same thing. And not only that, but like, I would also get in my head and feel shame about like my like rolls going over the what am I thinking? Armrest. And being in somebody else, like leaning over into somebody else's space because of my size and stuff like that, where I'm sure to someone else, it probably doesn't matter as much as it does in my own head. But in my own head of like, this is supposed to be some sort of pleasurable experience. I mean, usually when you're on a plane, you're going, unless you're doing business or whatever, you're like going to a vacation. You're going to something that you're supposed to enjoy. To have that much anxiety, to just terrorize yourself on the way to that. It's just, it's so awful.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's just, you're just so mean to yourself.
Yeah. I literally spent an entire therapy session before I had to fly when I was overweight, like talking through like how I was going to handle if I had to ask for a seatbelt extender.
Yeah.
Like literally had to like emotionally prepare for that.
Well, and the thing is like when I haven't been on a flight since 2019, but like that not only, I mean, at the point is now like, I don't worry about, I mean, I notice it when I click on a seatbelt. I think about it when I do it, but I don't have any worry doing it.
Right.
But I still get worried that I won't fit down the aisle.
Yep.
Like I still think I have to like kind of walk sideways. And it's so funny. Like when there's turnstiles for something or anything like that, like immediately my first thought is like, you're not going to fit.
Yep.
But then it's so weird. I was just having a conversation the other day because I'm scheduling right now to have a therapist come in and do a podcast on body dysmorphia. But so how that's body dysmorphia. Like I see my body in this way still, even though it's been a long time for me since my body couldn't fit down a plane aisle.
Right.
But at the same time, when I was that size, it's like your body, you know that, but your body dysmorphic in another way, thinking that you're smaller than you actually are because you're just like, oh, I'm average. I look average. And then I wouldn't fit into a booth at a restaurant. And then you're like, whoa. Yeah. And that is like, then, oh, now I have to worry that I can't get in and out of a booth at a restaurant. Yeah. And that is really, tears you apart.
Well, and that was weird when I was really big. I would see pictures of myself and be like, oh, I look like that. Like, it's almost like you don't realize like how large you are. And then all of a sudden when you lose weight, you think you're larger than you are. Yeah. It's so backward. Like I still, when I get clothes, like if I order clothes online, when I get them, I'm like, I'm not going to fit into that. And I do. But in my mind, I'm like, there's no way that you're that size. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and then sizes are so jacked anyway.
Oh my God. Have you seen like the images where it's like all the jeans are like a size 10 and they're each like totally, they're all different sizes. Yeah. It's crazy.
So that's where this can, and this I've learned to let go of a lot more, because then like again, where it's like, oh my God, I'm this size. Yeah. Sometimes like, oh my God, I fit in like my entire life. I'm like, I will never fit into a medium. Like, you kidding me? To much less think I would fit into a small. Like, what? Yeah. And so like, not only is that still kind of like, this is cool, but because the sizing's different, when something fits me perfectly and it's an extra large, I'll get it. Oh my God, am I gaining weight? Like then like it's just this weird thing too. But like, no, this is just the jack sizing of this store. Or like even if you go to Target, the different clothes even within Target has such different sizing of like an extra small could or an extra large could look like it's from Baby Gap and it still look tiny, especially if you think like if you do like a race, like Flying Pig or whatever, like their Asics shirts or whatever, like those always run super tiny. And so then that gets in your head too. Yeah. Of like, I'm a small in this size and it makes me feel like, oh my God, what? And then, but I'm still wearing an extra large over here. Yeah. So then you're just like, what is it? Who am I? What do I look like? I don't know how to perceive myself. And then it just scrambles your brain.
Yeah. I keep saying this thing on Instagram where it's like, your clothes fit you. You don't fit your clothes. And I'm like, I think about that all the time now because my whole life it's like, oh, that I won't be able to fit into that. Yeah. And it's like, no, the clothes didn't fit me. Like it was always a me problem, but really it was like, no, I needed clothes that fit me. I wasn't trying to it wasn't an issue of, oh, I can't fit into that. Like the clothes need to fit me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
Well, and also too, again, I'm just like so grateful for TikTok, even though it's like a drug. But to see so many women of so many different sizes and seeing how clothes fit on them and they're freaking rocking it. Where in my head I'd be like, I couldn't wear something like that. And then I see that and I'm like, no, that looks damn good.
Right.
Like, why am I so in my head? Like, it would probably look that good if I would try it.
Right.
But I won't even try it because I just assume that it's going to look awful.
Yeah.
And it's like, I got to get out of my head in that way too. That's no way to live. It's just to constantly think that you're going to look terrible in other things of like, no, just wear these high-waisted jeans and put that ass out there. You know what I mean? Of like, as long as I feel like I look good and I feel confident in it, that's all that matters. And it's like, that's a conversation I have to constantly have with myself. And that's just part of the process and hard too. And I don't know if there's ever a point that conversation ends. I think is specifically, you know, if you have lived in a body that you were unhappy in, whatever that means.
Yep.
To try to love that body that you hated for so long. Yeah. And then you're trying to dress that body that you have such confused feelings on. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah. It's really confusing. And then you think when you lose X amount of weight, you're all of a sudden going to love your body. And that's not accurate either. Yeah. It's like you spend your entire life hating your body. So like loving it is you have to freaking work for it.
Oh yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah. And it's the things that you would have killed to be your problems before. You're like, I can't even imagine that if I had this problem, like, oh my God, champagne problem. Like, I wish I had that. And then when you live it and you're in that problem, you just think it's the freaking worst. And it's like hard to pull yourself out of it. Right. Like, you serious? Most of your life you would have killed to have this be an issue.
Yeah.
And just put it in perspective. And I was also having another conversation about this a week ago with one of my clients, and she sent me a meme about it. Of oh dang it, I'm losing it now. Hold on, now I gotta find it. Because we were talking about, okay, this is what it was, is that watch what you say about your body, because what you think about somebody else, like you're their goal, right? Like that's somebody else's dream. Like I can't imagine. Like looking at Shannon and being like, oh my God, well, Shannon's just so freaking gorgeous. Shannon pulls off everything she does. Like she's just like amazing in every way. And to you, you're sitting there trashing yourself. You know what I mean? Of like, I'm like, oh my God, I would like kill to like look like you and have your confidence and like, you know, like somebody's admiring you and you just walking around the world thinking that you're gross. Yeah. And putting that out there, I think that if you're, you know, putting that out there in that way could teach that other person, oh, well, my dream is trash. Right. And then you're messing you both up. I don't know.
Well, and I think especially like I see this all the time because I work with all women, but I try to be really careful about what I say about my body in front of other women because like you said, like I could be somebody's goal. So if I'm talking about how fat I am or how much I hate my body and someone larger than me is hearing that, then they're likely thinking like, what do I think about them? Yeah. So it's like, and I work with all these girls who in my mind have these perfect bodies and they're like talking trash about their bodies. And I'm like, then what must they think of what I look like? Yeah. They must think I'm ginormous. So it's like you have to be so careful. Like people hear the things that you're saying about your body, and it's just not necessary, really. It's like there's so many other way more important things than what our bodies look like, but for some reason we focus so much on literally just our bodies. Yeah, when that's the least important thing about me.
Yeah, it's like when we die, people aren't going to be describing our bodies.
No, it's like who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I spend so much freaking time and energy thinking about what my body looks like.
I know.
I could be spending that thinking about way more important things.
Yeah, or just how your body shows up in the world, how other people are perceiving your body, which it doesn't matter.
No,
and it's just so hard to let go of thinking again, like what your idea. I don't know. This is something I've been thinking about a lot. Of you try to live your life trying to because you want people to perceive you in a certain way. Like, this is how I want to show up in the world. But every single human will perceive you in a different way. So it ultimately doesn't matter because you can't please everyone.
No.
So one person's going to think that you're like a goddess. You're the most beautiful person that you've ever seen. And another person's going to be like, yuck. Yeah. I'm not into that. And it has nothing to do with it's just, that's personal preference.
Right.
Some people are going to love your personality and other people are going to hate it.
Right.
And so it's why are we living this life to chase after, I want everybody to think I'm hot. I want everybody to think that I'm funny. I want you're just trying to people please when it's if you just let that go and with the realization that everyone's going to have a different opinion of you anyway. So do whatever the hell you want to do, wear whatever you want to wear and own your damn body because people are going to love it and hate it at the same time, no matter what you do. So you might as well be happy.
Right.
But easier said than done.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's and you can know that, you can consciously think about that, but then it still is hard to live your life that way.
Yeah.
So, but we're so programmed. I've literally hated my body since I was 6 years old. So then to try and reprogram that takes a lot of freaking work.
Yeah. And it's practice, consistency, catching yourself in that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm I don't know if it ever fully goes away, but it gets better.
Right. It does. I've been in therapy for a hot minute and I still have a long way to go, but I'm way nicer to myself now than I used to be.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I know I have a client at the gym and you got stuff to do, but I do want to ask, you got to do a sweet and spicy question. Since we're here at the gym and I have my box of sweet and spicy truth game questions. So here's spicy, medium, and sweet questions.
I'm only picking spicy.
That's
girl.
true. I'm going to do that too. And I'll pick one for you. As long as it actually is a decent question. See, is it stupid? See, some of them are so stupid.
I don't even like that question.
Yeah. I mean, this game is hit or miss. Okay.
Have you ever been attracted to a cartoon character? Shit.
A cartoon character. No.
Really?
No.
Man, I was hoping you'd have some crazy ass answer.
No.
Yeah, I was really attracted to Hey Arnold. I liked his football head.
Grab on them little ears.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Have you?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, no. All right, let me fix this.
I was I don't know. Amanda might.
I mean... Oh, God.
No, I'm nervous.
Was your first time either special or a disaster?
Oh, it wasn't a disaster, but it was definitely awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was first time for both of us. So it was nobody really knows what's happening.
Yeah.
It's just real awkward.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. I don't know. Does anybody ever have their first time was oh, that was amazing.
It's only downhill from here.
I know. I'm this is the best it's ever gonna get. I'm just I don't know that it's ever that way because you're just you don't know what's happening and you're awkward and I don't know, man.
Yeah, and it's not it's not it was super pleasurable, at least for me. It was just kind of let's get the first time out of the way.
Yeah, I did. It's not I did it and regretted it by any means, but I was definitely wow, we gotta get better at this.
Yeah, I don't know. My first boyfriend that I had that experience with, he was just such a douche. And he was just kind of mean about stuff.
No.
And at the time, again, I'm so again, such a low confidence about myself just to be just to take. There's an email. Just to take mean things and be well, this is how it is, and you know what I mean. And I was telling him not to go into details, but I'm I don't want to do this, and he wouldn't take no for an answer. And at that time, I'm well, a boy likes me, so you know what I mean. And now I've been You think you deserve some of this,
dude?
then?
Right.
Bye.
Goodbye. But that's what's like, as an overweight girl, it's kind of like you're like, oh, someone's interested in me. I got to do whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
and I wasn't even that interested in him. It was just kind of like, well, this is what I can get. Oh my God, somebody's paying attention to me. Oh, thank God. I never thought a guy would pay attention to me. You know what I mean? It's just like looking back where I'm like, oh God, I'm like, I don't know if myself at that time would listen to me, but I wish I could just be like, go back and hug her and be like, girl, you're better in this.
Dude,
like, can you just like stand up for yourself? Don't. You're teaching people to treat you like crap because you treat you like crap.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I went on a serious note there.
Ooh, this was supposed to be funny, Amanda.
Damn it.
God.
Next time.
Oh, go take a drink, everybody.
All right. Well, I got shots in my purse.
Ooh, okay. Shots.
All right. Talk to you next week.
Bye.
AmandaValentineBites.com